Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. This is a look at our market leading stocks via our proprietary scans for the coming session. This is going to be for Wednesday, September 11th, 2013. Let's say we've got a pretty decent upside day going, but we've got kind of a mix of signals. We've got some upside CPS signals, but at the same time we've got an almost offsetting amount of downside signals. So not a lot to be too happy about because we're not closing that strongly. We're not exactly at or near the highs, especially on the NASDAQ side, and you can see that in the indexes here. Seeing definitely a good volume day and a strong candle today in Netflix as that breaks out to a new high. That's got a VWAP deviation and an open close deviation. Baidu also seeing a volume bump to the upside here, and Apple's got one to the downside. That's 2.5% below the day's open. Okay, now elsewhere in the financials, again, fairly well paired off here. We got a couple of volume bumps. We got a volume bump in Morgan Stanley and also Goldman Sachs. I think both of those are a little bit to do, probably one more than the other with the rebalance of the reconstitution rather of the Dow 30. But those are definitely putting up some strong numbers and strong volume today. Looking at the energy names. Energy names might be a little bit to the sell side here. We've got one volume bump, and that's in Schlumberger. That one doesn't have a signal with it, but there are a fair amount of camouflage sell signals where we're higher on the day but below the day's open. Moving on to the market generals, again, some confusion here by the market. Some are better to buy, some are better for sale. Don't really have any extraordinary volume here. Disney DIS is seeing some pretty decent volume, as is Verizon still. But that's about it as far as the volume goes today. Real low volume in Deere and also the Best Buy. Moving on to the housing names, starting to see a little profit taking here. They've been real strong the last couple of days. The only one that's really pushing up considerably higher is Home Depot. That one's going to have a pretty decent close. It's decently above the VWAP and just a little bit less than 1% above the day's open. Transports, a little bit to buy, a little bit to sell, but on balance a little bit better to buy. No real volume bumps there of note. And finally, the commodities. Good volume in the commodities. U.S. Steel following through with volume. Potash following through. Mosaic and also Monsanto to a lesser degree. But definitely seeing some good volume here. We looked at those previous session. We thought the news out of China might influence those, and it certainly did. The precious metal stocks are a little bit sloppy. Double G and Newmont both have downside CPS conditions, and Freeport Copper has a camouflage sell signal. But keep in mind that's on lower volume. All right, folks. As always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.